We're back. We're back. We took a week off. I know our fans were like just bored, didn't have anything to talk about for a whole week. But we're back.
Exactly. Yes.
What did you do in your break? What did you do in your podcast day break?
What did I do?
I don't remember.
Probably played lots of video games on my phone.
I think I fell asleep. There's a new game called Marvel Snap that people love.
I just tried that out a little bit. Have you played it at all?
No, I'm not a big phone game guy. When I game, I want to be on the couch and kind of like zone completely out. But a friend of mine, shout out to Kenneth Price, my friend Kenneth Price. He loves it, so I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay, yeah, Ron Funches also loves it apparently.
Okay.
So I downloaded it when Ron Funches said it was addictive. So I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and my wife loves phone games. She's a big fan of it, so I might give it a try. What is on the agenda today, man? Because next week we got some plans for next week, and of course we got Black Panther the week after. But what are we talking about today?
This week we are ranking Phase 4 TV series of the MCU.
Nice, awesome.
Starting with WandaVision and ending with She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
When you say Phase 4, is it all? These are all the shows that Marvel put out on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah, these are all the Disney Plus Marvel TV shows. They're considered Phase 4 of the MCU.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, there you go. All right, very good. All right, I have my list, and
they're part of Phase 4.
Yeah, we're going to go backwards. So we're going to talk about the worst, and then go to the very best. We're going to trade off, and I think
I should have the honor of going first.
Yeah, you should go first. But I have my 4 criteria. I want to tell you my criteria first.
Okay, you got criteria for this. Good.
Yeah. I chose these based off of 4 things. 1, action. 2, lasting ramifications for the MCU. 3, character development. And then 4, overall production quality. So I'm taking each one. I'm thinking, okay, where does this fit? How does it work? There it goes. So what was your...
I've also got the criteria for this, and my criteria is that I pulled it out of my. No, basically, this is just me going back, thinking about how these things made me feel, and that's pretty much it.
Pretty good. I mean, that's fine. That's the criteria.
It's like, how do I feel about these things now that they're all in history, that they're all in the past? I can kind of consider them all together. How do I feel about them now?
I mean,
some of it surprised me.
Yeah. Well, my ass is how I do pretty much everything. It's like,
well, not this time. You have very structured criteria for this.
And let me tell you that it was real fast in doing so. It was quick. Okay, so you get to start. You get to give me. So we only have 8. So 8 is the worst. So you give me, Mike, your number 8. I'm going to write down your number. I'm going to write this down so I keep track. Okay. Give me your number 8.
I truly hope we're on the same page on this one, but I'm afraid that we aren't.
No, we are.
My number 8, the worst of all of the Disney Plus Marvel shows, is What If.
Agreed. You can't really debate that either, and there's a couple of different reasons why. One... There's a lot of campiness with these shows, a lot of campiness. But there's a few of them, especially the Doctor Strange one. And I think we both can agree that Doctor Strange one was the best one. Not just because of when we saw it, but also because it was so similar to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, it was definitely top two out of the What If series.
Yeah, what was the top?
Maybe tied with number 1. Like the first episode was really good too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. First episode. And, like, it's very interesting when we talk about What If. I'm very surprised that they didn't work harder to bridge that gap between the Doctor Strange episode and What If and the Doctor Strange movie. It's kind of strange. It's strange. It's kind of odd that they didn't do that. But anyway. But, yeah, Mike, list off the problems that What If has. Why is it at the bottom? Why is it number 8? Definitively.
Well, thinking back to it, when we were watching it, we were talking about, like, it's not really living up to the premise, like the whole What If thing. This is your chance to bring in characters we've never seen. You could just talk about them, like they don't have to be the main character of the episode. They can just be supporting cast, or they could be the main character. It doesn't matter. but you could bring them in, and these are just like little one-off things. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to play into the rest of the MCU. You could do interesting what-if questions, but they did not do that at all. And the really weird thing about that is now we are getting these weird characters from the depths of the Marvel comics in She-Hulk Attorney at Law. But they did not do that at all in What If for whatever reason.
That's an excellent point. What She-Hulk had done more to bring about a more well-rounded look at the Marvel universe than What If ever did. I think What If was a missed opportunity. I feel
they completely blew their opportunity with What If. Is I think the biggest fault that I have with What If. Like we said, animation was great. I really liked it. There were a couple of episodes that were really good, but for the most part, it didn't do what it should have.
Yeah, and the biggest problem with What If is like someone at Marvel said you can only play in the sandbox of the movies that we have, because I think that they thought that fans would only want to see that, and I don't think they knew that fans would be much more interested into the She-Hulk approach, which is obscure characters we never heard of. I think they might fix that. And What If season 2, I think they might change that a little bit. I
really hope that they do. Yeah. And they're going to do that spinoff of Marvel Zombies. Mm-hmm. I hope they go back to the source material for Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, me too.
And take more of a She-Hulk approach to it than the original What If.
Yeah, I hope they take it a little more seriously too. So yeah, I agree. Both of us got the same What If. What If number 8 for both of us, 100%. Give me your 7.
All right, my number 7, and this one surprised me. Number 7 is Moon Knight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me your reasons.
This is all kind of off the cuff, just how I felt about it. It didn't do anything for me. The whole series. There were a few good episodes in it, but like I don't look back on it fondly the way I did some of these other series.
Interesting.
No tragic flaws with it. Like What If? What If had some tragic flaws? There's none of that really. It's just kind of
Okay. I have my number 7. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to use my criteria. See, I have criteria.
Yeah. I really want to hear the criteria.
Number 7 is Hawkeye, and here's why.
Oh no!
Yeah, here it is. Here's why. First reason why. The show had some identity crises. There's a couple of the episodes that just didn't hit as hard as they could. I liked the Christmas theme. That was fine. But the overall character development, I feel like the only reason they did this was to bring in, what's her face? What was her name again? Kate. What's the girl's name? What is the girl's name? Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop. To bring in the Kate Bishop character into the show. I'm fine with that. I like Kate Bishop as a character. The actress who played Kate Bishop is fine. We're fine. Mm-hmm. We had Florence Pugh, which of course is fantastic. That was great as well.
Yeah, she's amazing.
The more I'm talking, the more I'm thinking I might actually rate it higher. But here's what brought it down. Here's what brought it down a little bit.
Okay.
The Kingpin stuff, I didn't like that, and I did not like how they handled the swordsman. And there's a couple of different other places in the show that just didn't hit the mark. And this is very interesting to me.
So you've got comic book reader gripes with Hawkeye.
Yeah, 100% comic book reader gripes. Yeah, but here's the deal. These 8 shows, the only one that I think is bad was What If. The other 7,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think the other 7, we're going to be nitpicking from now on, from 7 up.
Right.
And number 8 was Defender, but from 7, 6, 5.
Like I said, Moon Knight surprised me. I was like, what is the next worst show after What If? And I was like, oh wow, it's Moon Knight.
Yeah, but all of these were pleasant to watch. But there's other shows on this list that I thought were better produced, had better character development, better writing. And Hawkeye just never knew what it wanted to do. Hawkeye was like, hey, we're going to kind of start bringing in some stuff from Daredevil here's a little Echo, here's a little Kingpin, but they never really did
Right.
anything of substance with it. So again, I think a lot of it was too many cooks in the kitchen. I think they had they were swinging too hard for the fences. But again, Hawkeye is fine. Like if someone said, "Hey, should I watch this?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's great." I would say, "Yeah, it's great." But I would say that for all of these, but Hawkeye is definitely in my number 7.
Have you hit all your criteria for Hawkeye?
Character, yeah, I say all of it. The last ramifications for the MCU, I don't think there are many. I think that Echo was introduced. I think Kingpin's there, but again, not as much as the other shows.
Right. I mean, to me, it was just a fun Christmas season romp. I liked it a lot. I look back on it fondly. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed talking with you about it. So it's definitely not number 7 for me.
No, but I would watch all these again, except for What If. Number 6.
Yeah, no doubt. Number 6 is She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Wow. Go for it. Tell me why.
Yeah. It was a good show. But it kind of like I liked the twist that they did, but it was a great twist, but it kind of undid the rest of the show.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, they truly undid the rest of the show, right? Like everything that like we had kind of been thinking about, oh, who's behind trying to get her blood? That happened early on in the series, and we're trying to figure out who that is. Is it the leader? Is it Todd? Who is it? It doesn't matter.
True.
It doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't matter because
which is great for the show, and I like that. Really, the show was about her evolution herself, but I think I would have liked it if they had focused on that as kind of the A storyline throughout the whole series, rather than that being kind of like the B story up until the very last episode.
Yeah, I'll talk more about She-Hulk when I get to it, but that is not my number 6.
Okay, what's your number 6?
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
That's not that surprising.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And here's why. Action was okay. Lasting ramifications of the MCU, yes, 100%. I mean, the Falcon becomes Captain America. I think that's heavy. Character development, I was thinking about this the other day. They definitely stretched this out for 6 episodes. Like, ideally, they would have made Falcon Captain America from the get. Like, at the end of Avengers Endgame, he had the shield. He was Captain America, but they wanted to do a whole show on it. And they did some background stuff. Right. I understand that. But you could kind of feel that this was all about them trying to stretch this out, try to get 6 episodes.
Well, but also in doing so, they created, what's his name? The soldier. What's his name now? American Agent.
Yeah, U.S. Agent.
They introduced that character. So without this story, they really couldn't have introduced him, and now he's going to be in Thunderbolts.
But they could have made another story and did the same thing. But I 100% agree with you that was important. But at the end of the day, it's been reported. We all know that this show was hindered because of COVID. It was supposed to be about a biochemical, like a biovirus, or something like that, and they just couldn't do that storyline. So it was edited.
I think they should have stuck with it. I
think that we could have handled it. We were all like sitting at home doing nothing, so we could.
Yeah, many people watched those virus movies, like when we were, So
it was. They should have stuck, but them changing it was a big problem. Maybe I should have ranked it a little higher, but I feel good about that. Again, last ramification for MCU, character development, overall production quality was good, but at the end of the day, I kind of feel like this show is kind of just wonky. Period. All right.
Right.
What's your number 5?
I hear you. Question number 5.
What? No.
Did you say? Did you say question?
I said
number
what
5?
was your? I said what was? Your 5?
Oh, okay. I was like, what? What are you doing? My number 5 is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, so we agree. We're
real close. Mine's ranked one above yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was just looking back on it. I think I look back on it, maybe a little bit more fondly than She-Hulk. Now, maybe 6 months from now, those two will switch. Who knows? But I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good story. It does have, this isn't a huge thing for me, but it does definitely tie into the MCU. I think it does some things that were important, and will lead into the next Captain America movie. And also introduced U.S. Agent, who we'll see in Thunderbolts.
It had the Winter Soldier in it.
Did this introduce Val, or this introduced Val, right?
No, Val. Yes, yes. This introduced Val. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, we saw her before we saw her in Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it did some important storytelling stuff for the MCU, and it was a pretty good show. So number 5.
Yeah. Okay. My number 5 is Moon Knight. Moon Knight number 5.
Okay. Interesting.
I seriously loved what's his name?
I'll just say I'm glad it's in your bottom half.
Yeah, what's his name? Oscar. What's his name?
Oscar Isaac.
I love him so much. He carried the show on his back. It was weird. It was a weird show. I didn't think they could pull off what they pulled off. I thought the set pieces were strong. The action stuff that we saw, even though I had some complaints about the action overall, I think the action was pretty good.
Music was so good.
Music was really good. I still have complaints about the CGI stuff with Moon Knight, but I'll let that pass. But the overall whole show, I just enjoyed very much. And just without a doubt, this was great. The fact that they took Moon Knight and made something out of him like this, strong. And I think it's proof that when the MCU wants to do anything with a good character and good actors and good directing and a good budget, they can do it. So again, that's my number 5. And again, it's in the bottom half. So the next 4 is totally different than as far as the quality is concerned. I think if I'm looking at what you're looking at, then our next the top 3 are pretty much the same. So I'm curious how they move around. All right.
Well, we'll see. Just
on
Moon Knight before we.
Okay.
We got to hit number 4. But also on Moon Knight before we leave that. If it had stayed as weird as it was in the first 2 episodes, the whole way through, I think it would have ranked a lot higher for me.
Yeah, it suffered from the Marvel show movie disease, which is like, hey, at some point we need to be a comic book thing that people can understand, and we can't be too weird. And I'm going to talk about that more at She-Hulk, but yeah, it just suffers from that, and it got kind of samey, and that's just how it is. But that's the downfall of that, and I think that we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, number 4.
So my number 4.
I already know it is.
The lowest. Wow.
Yeah.
Good guess. You are absolutely correct.
Because
how do you know?
Just based off of what you're saying and the conversations we've had, then I know what the next 3 is going to be. I'm curious where you're going to line up. But Hawkeye, so why did you put it so high?
It's a great filling show. I could definitely see myself rewatching Hawkeye more than maybe any of these, actually.
Wow.
Just because it's a Christmas thing. You're going to be out for Christmas. You want something to watch. It's kind of Christmassy. It's a good story, I think, from beginning to end. It's got some good fighting scenes. It's got one of, I think, the best fighting scenes out of the MCU. Maybe like a top 10 fight scene.
Which one? Is that the rooftop?
It's the one in the warehouse. The one in the warehouse.
I like the rooftop better.
Yes, yeah. Maybe I would like that rooftop better on a rewatch, but definitely the warehouse scene in this I liked a lot.
The warehouse scene also lended itself to that long montage, that single shot where they were driving. So yeah, I feel that. I might need to rank Hawkeye higher. I don't know. I need to go back because
it's got the bros in it.
Yeah, see, I didn't like the bros, so that might be.
What's their name?
I forget. I forget.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, that's not good, right? Did I tell you that I actually read the trade paperback for that the show was based off of the whole thing?
You did not, no.
Yeah, I don't know why I never told you that. Yeah, it's actually really really good, but there's a lot of themes from the comic that did not make it onto the screen. There was some love. There was a lot of love, weird stuff. Like
yeah. I think you did tell me about that now. Actually, right? Yeah, there's like there's some romance going on between the two Hawkeyes.
Yeah. It's a lot going on with that, but
we don't need that in this version. Yeah,
no.
But Pizza Dog made it over.
Yeah. It's actually was pretty good. My number.
What's your number 4?
Yeah. She-Hulk. Attorney at Law.
Okay,
and here's why. Here's why. I love Tatiana Malavini. I think that's how you say her name. I thoroughly enjoy what they were trying to do, which is break the mold. They said, if we're going to do this show, it needs to be different than the rest of them. And even though it got kind of weird at different places, overall, I think it was a success. I think it was something that I could definitely watch. Maybe not again, but I would definitely watch season 2 for sure. And whenever that She-Hulk joins the Avengers and does some Avengers stuff, I think it'd be really cool. But the production value was atrocious, which is a big ding. If the production values, if they did a better CGI of She-Hulk, I would have loved it better. But overall, I mean, this is again, like Moon Knight, this is a show that could have easily failed. It somehow did not, in my view. And it did a lot of work to deal with a lot of this online basement boy troll stuff that I think they just went head on into, and I have to give them props for that. So it was a show that it was a show that knew what it wanted to be from the beginning to end. We did not know it. It did.
Right.
And at the end, it said, I don't care what you say. We're doing this. And you either like it or don't. And I respect that.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha.
It was fearless. It was a fearless show. Fearless.
Yeah.
This is it. So we have the same 3 left. I'm just curious where
what order are they?
So number 3, go.
Pretty sure this isn't the same one you have. Number 3 is WandaVision.
I have the exact same one.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So
WandaVision's riding high, based mostly on the strength of the first several episodes where they were doing homages to classic TV.
Yep. So like when you said that if Moon Knight was strange for longer, and if you look at She-Hulk and it was strange for the whole season, and you look at WandaVision, it was strange for a while. WandaVision and Moon Knight suffered from that same we have to be a comic book thing now. But
exactly,
at the beginning, WandaVision was super weird, and I was loving it, and everybody else did too.
Yeah, I love that. It also, the back half, I wasn't so much into, but it did have really important things happening within WandaVision that led into the Doctor Strange movie and the MCU, of course. So it's riding high at number 3 on both of those two things.
The connection to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is a strike to me. If I would have known that they would have done to Wanda what they did in the Doctor Strange movie, I don't know if I would have liked WandaVision as much. But I mean, shout out to Arthur, our guest, when we had him for the Doctor Strange episode. The signs of Wanda not being healthy were there. We just ignored them. She kidnapped their entire town and brainwashed them so she could cope with the death of her husband and or her lover. They're kind of married, but that's not healthy, And so again, the signs were all there. I wonder if I watched it back. I'm curious if I watched all of WandaVision and then Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm curious the transition. I'm just curious about that.
Yeah. I wonder if you would pick up on some things in WandaVision that you didn't.
I don't know. But as far as lasting ramifications for the MCU, I mean, it was a Disney Plus show that transitioned successfully to a movie. If you hadn't have watched WandaVision, you would have been completely lost about Doctor Strange. And I think that was great.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a hopeful they do the same thing with my next 2, but you get to go first. I'm thinking we got
So
the
you
same
covered
2.
off all of your criteria for WandaVision?
Yeah. Action.
Okay.
There was more action, but there was towards the end. The ramifications were huge. Character development was perfect, and overall production quality. The production quality of that show was awesome. Can't beat it.
Yeah. It was really, really good.
Yeah. Number 2.
All right. Number 2.
Got the same one. We got the same one. Doesn't matter.
Miss Marvel.
Whoa! What? That's unacceptable. You messed it up.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay. Why is Miss Marvel your number 2?
All right. Hey, like I said, some of these things are surprising even to me. Just looking back on Miss Marvel and looking back on my number 1, which, spoiler alert, it's Loki. Looking back on those two, they were both fantastic. I think that, it's the same people behind both of the shows, at least as far as like writing and story goes. I think they learned a lot from Loki and made Miss Marvel even better because of that. But just looking back at these two shows, my memory, like my fondness of the experience I had watching them, I think Loki was a little bit higher just because there was mystery to it. And you and I had some great conversations talking about that wasn't there in Miss Marvel. And so that's why Miss Marvel's at number 2 for me.
I agree with you. I think that Miss Marvel, I liked it more than I thought I would. That's mostly because of the acting all across the board. All those characters were easy to love, easy to root for. I thought that if I'm looking at action, it wasn't as much action, but the lasting ramifications of the MCU were huge. That if you're going to introduce a new character to the MCU, that's how you do it with Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Character development can't beat that. I mean, Mike, we both agree, Miss Marvel, this is the Spider-Man series that we were looking for.
Exactly. Yes.
I know. This is perfect. It's just a team gets superpowers and then goes to and does hijinks. It's perfect. Super looking forward to the Marvels when it comes out. It's delayed, I think, but sadly. But just Miss Marvel is just great entertaining. So my number 2 is Loki. So I'm going to talk about my number 2 first, and then you can go to number 1. Okay. With Loki, the reason why Miss Marvel beat Loki is the fact that I just enjoyed watching Miss Marvel just a little bit more. I think that our conversations around Loki were better. But I think that Miss Marvel is just a little bit more enjoyable than Loki. But, I mean, the fact that they take a character like Loki from the Marvel Comics, which no one really cares that much about, and creates this whole thing around him was just amazing. We get to talk about nature versus nurture arguments, the idea of the multiverse. We had long conversations about like really cool like themes that I was trying to have. And if you remember, you still got stuck on the idea that Loki was a woman, and how could that work? It's just so funny.
It still doesn't make sense.
Okay. But as far as lasting ramifications for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're about to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and it has Kang in it. And everybody who watched Loki is looking at that trailer, and they're like, I thought he was dead. Like I actually looked on Reddit, and someone was like, I thought the guy at the end of Loki was dead. How can he be alive? And so,
wait, what? Why?
Because first of all, they didn't listen to our podcast, and then second, they don't understand the ideas of the multiverse. They don't understand how it all works. So it's going to be Ant-Man's going to have to explain a lot to make sure people are on the same page with that. But again, Loki, I mean, Miss Marvel and Loki being number 1, number 2, it doesn't matter. They're both there, right there. So you could interchange them. But Miss Marvel and Loki are just so far above the rest of the shows that I could easily watch Loki again. I could easily watch Miss Marvel again. I could easily watch WandaVision again. But if someone turned in She-Hulk, I'd be like, I don't really need to watch that again. Or if somebody turned on Moon Knight, I'd be like, I guess I'll get through this episode. But if someone turned on Loki, I'd be like, okay, cool, I'm watching this. And like, there's certainly days that I want to like call in sick from work, get some really disgusting fast food, turn on Loki, and just sit there and stare.
Oh man, that sounds so good now.
Doesn't it sound like the best?
Yeah,
just
it does.
Like, throw your phone down down.
The outside world does not matter.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna eat this horrible food and watch Loki. Yeah.
Yeah, just a big old box of Bojangles. Bojangles, you can sponsor us if you ever want to. We will take a Bojangles sponsorship without
No
any
doubt.
problem. All you have to do is pay us in biscuits. But yeah, I feel like our list.
I think that's the real test for the top half of my list versus the bottom half.
Mm-hmm.
Is which of these shows am I willing to rewatch from beginning to end?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like the break between 5th place and 4th place.
Mm-hmm.
Is the top 4. I would rewatch these series, anytime someone wants to. The bottom 4, you get it would take something for me to rewatch them, really.
Yeah, I agree. I feel that. That's how I feel. It's a good metric though, and I think that as overall, when you look at these shows, I think that Disney Plus's experiment with these shows shows that it's a success. Like these are all successes except for even what if is a success. It's fine. And I think that's going to be Marvel's bread and butter. They're going to.
I question that what if it was a success, but okay.
Okay, and like if you open your Disney Plus app right now, and you open up your Netflix app right now, tell me that there is more to watch on your Netflix than Disney Plus. Like
what's Netflix?
Yeah, exactly. Like Disney Plus quietly created this massive amount of shows, and we're not even talking about how they took the Marvel shows from Netflix and put them on Disney Plus. You can watch 3 seasons of Daredevil, 2 seasons of The Punisher, 2 seasons of Iron Fist, 2 seasons of Luke Cage, 3 seasons of Jessica Jones, The Defenders. Yeah. It's just like kind of absurd. Like if you get a Disney Plus account, you're like, well, I'm in this, and not to mention the other.
And I think they're bringing Doctor Who to Disney Plus.
I saw that. That's crazy. Do they own Doctor Who?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I don't know. It's BBC, but so I guess they've got some kind of a partnership. That's going to be awesome. You'll be able to see Doctor Who the same time that the British do.
Yeah, and I can continue to ignore it because there's no way I'm getting into that because I have no
what. I'm not
even going to get to that. But that show's too old.
As much as you liked Loki, you should definitely.
That show is too old.
The next series is going to be. They're going to do a restart, so it's a good time for you to get into it.
They always say that. Never mind. Let's not even get to that. That is our list. That is the definitive list. So if anyone asks you, hey, which Marvel shows should I watch first? Which one's the best? You can have them listen to this episode. And we didn't really spoil much. I don't think we did any spoilers, did we?
No, not really.
Oh, well, we spoiled WandaVision and Doctor Strange.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it's all. We spoiled Falcon Winter Soldier. we spoiled that. That's
can you spoil Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
No, you should have assumed that Sam Wilson was going to become Captain America. Yeah. Okay, last thoughts before we get to news you can abuse, Mike.
I think last thoughts are wow, I surprised myself that Moon Knight was the second worst out of all these shows. And kind of surprised myself because while we were watching it, Miss Marvel was the best show I'd seen on Disney Plus, but just for whatever reason, just like kind of going back and looking at them, I think Loki edged it out.
Yeah, real quick, I watch these shows on my phone on my commute home. Do you watch it like sitting in front of the
TV? Yeah.
It's probably a better experience.
Yeah, definitely for Loki, because all those space. The sets on Loki were amazing. The scenes in space were you got to watch Loki.
Another reason to watch it again. Okay, hopefully if I ever get a day off where no one's bothering me, I can get that. All right, news you can abuse. All right, this has actually been a pretty big. We've actually had a couple big ones, and we definitely got to talk about. First up, Marvel Studios' Ant-Man the Wasp official trailer came out last week, I think. Quantumania. They did the same thing they always do. They took an old song and elevated it. What was the song they used?
I don't even remember.
I'm pretty sure it was an Elton song. It was an Elton John song.
Yeah, I believe it was an Elton John song, but I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, quit. Trailer makers, quit doing it. Like, we're sick of it. Stop taking the old song and stop making it elevated like that. Like, it doesn't do anything. Like, everybody's done it. You've done 1,000 times.
Yeah, just do the right thing. Pick a song by the Beastie Boys and just needle drop it.
Or just don't pick a song. You know, just don't. Like, it's so lazy. I'm going to pick a bunch of things from this movie that look awesome, put a song behind it to create emotional response, push play. I can do that. Anybody can do it.
You gotta admit the Wakanda Forever trailer did a really good job of like blending those two songs that you used.
Yes, they did. But still, it's the same thing over and over. Is that what trailers are now? Just a song that has some emotional connection to you and some action scenes. It's like,
yes, I listened to a podcast about movie trailers recently, and that's exactly what they are now. And they're also the sound.
I love that though.
Yeah,
I love that though.
No more. Notice there's no more narration. Remember that time when there was a narrator for every movie trailer? Yeah,
a movie you can't wait to watch. I kind of love that. Okay, so Ant-Man and the Wasp. We saw a couple cool things if I can remember. Apparently, like Ant-Man's daughter did something dumb, and they all got swung into the quantum zone.
They were sending signals between the quantum realm and our realm.
So in the comics, the quantum realm is called the microverse.
You would think that like the rest of the family would have known about this experiment while they were working on it.
Nobody watches kids do anything. Like, you know that. What's your kids doing right now? They're probably building a nuclear bomb somewhere. You know, no idea. So in the comics, it's called the microverse. So the quantum, and like it looks like there's some elements of the microverse in there. I'm curious how Kang is involved, because Kang rules multiverses. I'm not sure how this works, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm almost 100% positive there's some time travel elements in here somehow. But again, it's going to be kind of crazy. Did you like the trailer?
I like the trailer a lot. It looks like they probably used the volume a heck of a lot when they were making this movie. Because it's all like in the quantum realm, right? And there's they're not going to make sets for any of that. So I have to imagine they're probably using the volume for that.
This is 90%. They're in the blue, green, whatever kind of screen now. Yeah. And like, it's fine. It's what it is. Of course,
it's definitely like, it's going to be really, really weird.
Yeah. We're covering it. Of course, we're going to watch it. It comes out in February, which I'm actually excited about. That's not too long from now. So we definitely have a chance to watch it. And I'm hoping that this movie is going to catapult the multiverse saga in a really strong way. I'm really looking forward to it. Next up, something I'm not looking forward to at all, and something I have to watch because we have a podcast, Marvel Studios special presentation, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Oh, my Lord.
It's their second holiday special presentation.
What was the first one?
Werewolf by Night.
Oh, okay. I thought it was okay. I like Werewolf by Night, and it was short. It was an hour. So if they make this short, I'm good.
I'm thinking maybe they'll do the same thing where it's like under an hour.
You know what's interesting? Not a lot of green blue screen here. It's going to be a lot of live sets because they're going to be on Earth and they're going to kidnap Kevin Bacon.
Well, we don't know that, but we do know they try to.
I am not a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy anymore. I'm kind of over it. I'm sort of done with it. And now that I have, and like, I seriously think that we're going to do another ranking of the movies. And in fact, we're going to do a tier list. I'm going to tell you about that later, Mike. But
okay,
yeah, it's gonna be real fun. It's gonna be fun. But Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be way down my list. Like I just like
the first one.
The first one's still up there, but the last one not. Like it's just Like, even if you look at the trailer, all the characters look disheveled and dirty and tired. Like, it looks like they don't even want to be doing this anymore. And again, maybe they don't. But that whole thing is a fresh start. I can't wait for the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. End it. Wrap it up. Get it done. Because if you look at it's the Guardians of the Galaxy property is a leftover from the Infinity War saga. It's the only thing still going. Everybody else is fresh faced and ready to go do some more
stuff. Well, there's Thor too.
Yeah, but Thor, Love and Thunder was not good, and so again, all this tired stuff that's kind of lingering around, clean it up in their contracts and get rid of them. Let's get some fresh stuff going on.
Yeah, well, I am looking forward to the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Looks like it'll be fun.
I feel like just making a holiday special means we are creatively bankrupt. We have no ideas.
I mean, this is a takeoff or a send off of the Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah,
right?
I know that, and that is historically terrible, by the way.
Right, right.
But I'm more into let's get into a big nasty storyline. Let's get the multiverse saga started. Why are we wasting our time with holiday crap? I guess. All right.
I mean, I have faith that James Gunn did a good job here. I think this is part of his send off. So we'll talk more about that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Next up, Harrison Ford set as General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross for Captain America, New World Order, and Thunderbolts. Real quick, the original character that played Thunderbolts Ross, his name was Mike.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll go get it real quick. He's a great actor. Give me a second.
Yeah, really good. Definitely looked the part.
Hang on. I actually like him a lot. He just passed away. Did you know that? Right.
Well, that's why they have to recast. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting that they recasted because they didn't recast. They don't always do that. His name was William Hurt. William Hurt. And for people who don't know, he did a movie called what was it called?
The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker, but also he did?
No, he didn't. His last name's Hurt.
No. He was in the original Incredible Hulk. So the Incredible Hulk with what's his face? He did that. The Incredible Hulk did that. So he was Thunderbolts Ross in that, and then he redid his role, and he did it in Civil War, and he was in Avengers: Infinity War, and he was in Endgame for a little bit. It's really sad that he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sad that he passed away. I liked him a lot. He was in this one movie. Hang on, he was in AI Artificial Intelligence by. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, he was in that one. He was in The Good Shepherd. It was another one. I'm not sure why I'm talking about him.
I mean, he definitely looked the part. He definitely looked the part of Thunderbolt Ross. So.
Yeah. Anyway, Harrison Ford is taking over the role. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that Harrison Ford looks the part.
I don't know if Harrison Ford cares. I think because there's going to be another Indiana Jones movie, so I think at some point
lots of people are psyched about Harrison Ford being cast as Thunderbolt Ross.
Disney came up to him at some point and said, "Hey, man, here's a bunch of money and here's a multi-movie contract. We got a couple Marvel stuff, some Indiana Jones stuff. What are you saying?" He said, "Yes." So now he has to do Thunderbolt. So I don't see us getting an Academy Award from Harrison Ford. I think he's going to show up on set with some coffee. He's going to put the coffee down. He's going to do his lines, and he's going to look at a weird prop of something, and he's going to walk out. So
he likes the Indiana Jones character in the movie.
He loves the Indiana Jones character. He loves it.
Yeah.
So he's going to give.
Did not like his Star Wars character that much.
No, he hated it. He hated Han Solo because Han Solo has no depth compared to Indiana Jones. I can watch an Indiana Jones movie anytime. You put that on there, I'm watching it. I don't care what. I'll stop anything. I will stop traffic. I will stop surgeries. I'm watching it. I've watched them a billion times. So Harrison Ford is going to be fun as General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. I need the internet to stop saying stuff about him turning into the Red Hulk. That is stupid. Stop doing it. Okay,
I don't see that happening.
No. Okay, in the comics...
Although the Red Hulk was name-checked in She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think they name-checked him because it's like, this is dumb. Red Hulk was a huge mistake in the comics. It's dumb. It's a dumb
really
character.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. Good. No, in my view, a lot of people...
I don't like the idea of a Red Hulk at all.
Well, you don't like him because he's red.
Hulks are green.
Yeah,
Hulks are green.
That's not a good reason to dislike something because of the color.
Well, why was the Red Hulk a mistake then?
It was a dumb theme. It was a dumb idea. Because like at some point the Red Hulk showed up, but we didn't know who it was. And so for a long time the Red Hulk was just doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and nobody knew who it was. And then all of a sudden it turned out to be Thunderbolt Ross, and it makes no sense. Why would he even want to be that? Like it's dumb. And then there was other Hulks that showed up and other little sub Hulks. It just kind of got really ridiculous. So again, like I know you guys on Reddit are like, what if Harrison Ford plays the Red Hulk? Like, stop. It's just kind of silly at this point. Last but not least, James Gunn is going to be co-CEO of DC Studios. I don't have it queued up.
Yeah.
I should
Big news.
This is actually huge. Mike, why do you think it's a big deal?
It's huge because James Gunn wouldn't be doing anything with DC if he hadn't gotten temporarily fired by Marvel.
He got canceled, right? He got Me Too'd for a minute, right?
Yeah, he got canceled based on some old tweets that he had written. I think mainly is what it was about. Apparently he had like a real dark sense of humor earlier on, and I don't know the specifics about it, but he said he's a different person these days, and everybody that works with him seems to love him and says he's, a great person to work with. But yeah, so he, after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, he got canceled and Disney kind of ended their contract with him. So they started looking for a new Guardians of the Galaxy director. Eventually, and that's kind of what gave him the opportunity to work on the Suicide Squad with DC during that break, while he was no longer working with Disney and Marvel. He started working with DC on the Suicide Squad, then did the Peacemaker spinoff with them, and they apparently like working with him so much that he's now going to be their new boss.
Yeah, a couple of things here. One, DC, has needed someone to helm their projects, like a Kevin Feige. They've needed someone like that. They've needed someone like that for about 10 years now. Probably longer. They've always needed someone like that, and they've never had it. And now that they have one, finally, you're going to see a lot of cool movies coming out of DC. He is going to sit down and he's going to pick out some really cool stuff, and he's going to redo it. If I was Marvel and I was sitting there, I would be worried because it's not going to happen soon. It's going to take about 5 years to get this machine moving. But that DC and Warner Brothers are coming back. They are coming back. They are coming. They're going to be big time once they figure out their properties, once they decide how they want to manage them. Right now, Marvel's been the only game in town for comic book movies. They've dictated the conversations. They've dictated the culture. That's going to be over once you have a mega hit. Like for example, once James Gunn decides what he wants to do with Superman, done. Once he figures out what he wants to do with Batman, done. Justice League, done. Green Lantern
coming with this. They've got the actor for Superman's back.
Yep, they're going to do it. And the last movie that came out, Black Adam, was panned by critics, but audiences loved it. And so I think that whatever they're going to do, they're going to do it well. It's going to be super good, and it's going to be competitive, which I like. Marvel has not had any competition for too long, and now they will have it, and they're going to have to change things up. And they're going to have to. They got competition for actors. They got competition for writers. They got more competition for everything, so it's going to change the entire landscape.
Directors,
competition's good, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want a monopoly, and we've had one for a while. But and Mike, you should also prepare yourself. Warner Brothers, DC, they're going to do this app thing too. They're going to figure out shows too. They're going to do all of it. They're going to be like everything that Marvel's done.
Well, I mean, they are better at shows than they are at movies.
Well, what shows? I can't even think of any.
Arrow, Flash.
Okay, I want you to realize that the CW DC universe is officially dead. Flash has been canceled, and the reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mike, they canceled all of them. Like they're all the DC universe.
I did not know that. Really,
the DC CW universe is dead because what happened was DC's like, we need to clean house and we need to get all our properties back under our roof. And James Gunn. So think about a Flash movie without a crazy actor behind it. Supergirl.
Yeah, get the guy from the TV shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Supergirl.
He was good.
Yeah. Think about another actual Green Arrow show. Like everything that you've ever wanted when it comes to DC comic movies, James, like DC and Warner Brothers, like, go nuts, figure it out. We don't know. We've done bad things for too long. We've let people do whatever they want. We had no control. And James Gunn's like, okay. And I guarantee you, James Gunn was like, the only way I'm going to do this is if I have full control. And they probably say, yeah. Because, right. The last Batman movie, The Batman, it got critical success. But if you look now, what is their thing? They have Ben Affleck as Batman and the guy from the vampire movies as Batman. There's two different Batmans. And there's like you got Superman here, but then you got Wonder Woman. Is Gal Gadot going to ever do Wonder Woman again? Like, it's so confusing. And how are fans go? Like, they have a perfect opportunity. I don't know why we're doing this because we're actually going to do a whole podcast on this, and I'm just ranting. And you're letting me do that, so I'm going to stop because hey, if you want to hear more of my thoughts and Mike's thoughts about DC and Marvel, tune in next week.
Well, that was just a teaser for what they're going to get next week.
Yeah, well, I was really about to do it. I was about to go off, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait.
The really interesting thing about this is the new co-CEO of DC Studios is currently in production with the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 for Marvel and Disney.
Yeah, it's odd. And you know what? That means the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is not going to be very good, ladies and gentlemen. So just deal with it.
I think it'll still be good. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I didn't really like Volume 2. I've got high hopes that Volume 3 returns to the goodness that Volume 1 was. We'll see. But I think you told me to be ready for many of the Guardians to die in Volume 3.
Yeah, be ready for that. But before that, Mike, let me ask you a question. The holidays are coming up. The holidays are coming up real fast. It's, next week's November. Then you got Thanksgiving and Christmas. We have a lot of episodes going. We've got an episode talking about DC and Marvel. We have an episode, like, we're going to focus on Black Panther. That's coming up. It's a big hit. And then, we got the Ant-Man coming up. How can people get this podcast to other people's ears?
Hit the share button. Give the gift of Super Sideshow to all of your loved ones this holiday season. Hit the share button. Follow us. Retweet. Subscribe. Thumbs up. Stars. Reviews. All those things. Do all that. Share us on social media. If you're a Reddit user and you like something that we talked about, share it there. Say, hey, this was a really good podcast. I really liked what they said about how the top half of the Disney Marvel stuff is really, really like the cream rising to the top. Share it. Spread the word. Yep. We'll appreciate it.
We really would. We really would. And thank you guys again for being our loyal listeners. We really appreciate it. And lots of cool stuff to talk about moving forward.
And up next, you got the teaser for it. Up next episode of the Super Sideshow, we'll talk about Marvel versus the DC cinematic universes.
God, I got so much research to do. These show notes are going to be the longest show notes in history. These show notes are going to be so long. It's going to be so much fun.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be good.